Hey, I'm Shay, and welcome to your home practice. I'm so glad you decided to show up for yourself today. So, in my public classes, if you have been coming, first of all, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Um, Secondly, we have been working on our, I guess this is still firstly, we've been working on the Psoas. And working on the Psoas is a pretty big job. And for those of you that are already really active in other modes of your life, those of you that already have really strong bodies and you need a little bit more length, this will be a really nice practice for you. So we're just going to get right into it. And we're going to work on lengthening the psoas. So, again, a little refresher, the psoas is a pretty major muscle group that connects the top and the lower half of the body. Essentially, it starts in the low back and it kind of wraps around to the front in the front of your hips, and it creates really strong motion and also really strong stability. And when it is strong, if it's already strong, we need to lengthen and loosen that stuff up to create a little less tension in the body. So start seated. If you're really tight, if you're extra tight because you're extra strong, you might want to sit up on a blanket or a block or a heightened surface. You might even be in a chair or a seat. Go ahead and cross that right ankle on top of the left knee if that's accessible to you, with that bottom shin kind of parallel to the top shin, or that right ankle, the right shin will be in front of the left shin. Sit up nice and tall. Take a nice full inhalation here. And then take the right fingertips out to the right. And with that right ankle kind of rooting that left knee and that left outer hip down, send that left arm overhead and get a nice little side bend here. Depending upon how flexible you are, that bottom elbow might come to the floor or to another prop. But for me, I usually just keep that hand on the floor. Now, as I'm rooting through that hand, I'm creating a little bit more length on that left side, the side that's lengthening and stretching. So kind of notice how the psoas of that top side, right, from the back all the way into the front, is creating a little bit of length on that side. Nice. And then to create a little more length in our side bend, this hand that's overhead, I want you to grab the underside of the head and almost use the head as some leverage to create more length. Now, to change the angle of our side bend, bring that top hand to the floor on that same side as the bottom hand and just hang the head toward the chest. And for me, that creates a little bit more length on that left side here. Now, really slowly, just kind of walk yourself into a forward fold at the center of your yoga mat or towards the center of your legs. And then once you find a nice little happy stopping point, you might sway a little right to left. If you're not as flexible, you might be a little more here, right? A little more fingertips to floor, a little bit more lift to the chest. Great. And then come all the way upright. And before we switch sides, we'll just add a little twist. So inhale first, lengthen from hips to head. And then exhale, twist to your right. Twist away from that front foot or that top foot. With that right hand behind you, left hand to your opposite knee. Sit up taller before you twist deeper. And create a little action of hugging the shoulder blades closer together. Nice. Now keep a hold of that right knee with that left hand if you can. And then right arm reaches overhead toward the top corner, toward that left top corner. Nice. And then just bring that hand down to the other knee or the foot if it's there. Just take a little sway there, right to left, lengthening out the back. Nice. Now, before you do that second side, we'll lengthen out the front of our psoas. So take your feet in front of you, with the feet on the floor and the knees to the sky. Hands will come behind you. And then just really easy coming into a reverse tabletop. Front of the hips, front of the chest, open a little bit here. Nice. And then releasing back to the floor. And we'll switch. So the left shin is in front or the left ankle is on top of that right knee. Sit up taller first. before that left hand takes a big step out to your left, and that right arm comes overhead by your ear. Now notice with that ankle on top of it's there, it's kind of rooting that right side down, so it's creating length overhead, and it's creating length down toward the floor. Now you can keep that top arm just kind of free hanging, but I find it weird and awkward, so I'll just kind of cradle the head with my hand, and then let the top elbow just pull a little bit more to that side. Soft face, deep breath. Nice. Now turn your head and chest to face down a little bit, and that top hand comes to the floor or even towards it. For me, it's like I'm barely touching my fingertips there, but I'm creating a different angle in that waist, in that side bend, to get a little bit into a different area of that psoas, right? The psoas connects in the mid, low back, kind of moves around to the front, so different angles will be able to touch into that muscle differently. And then keep that angle, but start to walk yourself more towards the center. And it's up to you how deep or how far you are into this fold, so it feels good, it feels comfortable to you. Nice. And then coming all the way back up, one more time, releasing the legs in front of you, repeating reverse tabletop or straightening the legs for reverse plank. Nice. Then all the way back down. We forgot that twist on the second side. So again, just left ankle in front or left ankle on top. First, sit up taller before you twist to the left. Just a nice little reminder to all of us that your yoga teachers are not perfect. They are not impervious to making mistakes. We're all just doing the best we can and going with the flow, man. So as you're twisting, the inhales are lengthening you. The exhales might just a little bit pull you deeper into the twist. Nice. And then coming all the way back to the center, coming to all fours. And from all fours, first, just sinking into a brief child's pose. The knees can be together, or they can come a little wide toward the outside of your yoga mat. Arms can reach overhead, or come alongside your thighs, reaching back towards your feet. Nice. Now we'll just come to tabletop. We'll come to all fours. Spin that left shin around behind you and step that left hand a little bit more forward of the shoulder. Start to spin into a side plank. Right foot to the front edge of your yoga mat. Right edge to the back of your yoga mat. And that right arm reaches toward the top. As you dive that top arm overhead, you're reaching back through that back foot. Nice. And then both hands come back to the floor. Switching, right shin reaches around behind you, left foot away from left arm, turning the chest slightly up toward the sky. As I'm creating that top side bend, I'm creating this under arch of that bottom waist. Nice. Hands come to floor. Child's pose again, or if you'd rather, downward facing dog to air it out a little bit more. Nice. And then everybody will come into a downward facing dog, but I want it to be really short, right? So the hands are a little bit more close to the feet, and it almost feels like you're in a really short standing forward fold. Usually these are the kind of mechanics you need to make this twist work. So bring that right hand a little more towards the center of your mat, right? A little bit more to the left. And that left hand comes to reach around the outside of that right ankle. And as that left knee bends a lot, I can hoist that right hip higher and kind of reach down through that right heel. And as I do that, I'm just pivoting and I'm turning to look under that right armpit. Psoas, nice and long. Nice. And then you'll just switch. Left hand comes to where the right hand just was. Bend the right knee. And with that right hand, you sneak it around to grab the outside of the shin or the ankle. And as I pull myself into the twist, I'm not just twisting, I'm lengthening. I'm reaching left arm away from left waist. Yeah. Long and deep in your breath. And then we normalize down dog, child's pose. Breathe bigger breaths. Nice. And then just come to all fours first. And we're going to call this up dog with really bad form, but more or less just kind of opening up through the front of our hip pockets. Our psoas, right? The hip flexors and the psoas meet to work really strongly together. But if they're already strong, they need to be long too, okay? So walk the hands kind of a big step forward. And then with the hips, the front of your hips, start to let them pull forward toward the heels of your hands. And you might need to adjust the width between your hands and your feet and your knees. As the hips start to drop, the chest continues to lift. I might even put a little bend in my elbows and just a really easy sway right to left. And like a normal up dog, I'd say pull your shoulders away from your ears. Let it sink a little bit. Let it be a little more passive. Nice. And then really easy. Back to down dog or back to child's pose. Just feel. Nice. And then one more time coming forward, letting the hips pull towards the heels of the hands, creating a little bit more passive length in the front of your body. Nice. And pulling back to tabletop, bringing the shins to a side, coming all the way down to your back. Keep the soles of the feet on the floor, and like we did when we were seated, take that right ankle to cross that left knee. And just a little bit windshield wiper those knees right to left here. Again, just targeting the sides of the waist, getting a little bit length in that area of the psoas. Nice. Now, the next time the knees fall towards the right side of your yoga mat, pause there. You might create a little bit more sandwiching action, so that left ankle might pull a little bit more towards your left butt. And you'll kind of sandwich the legs a little bit more toward the ground here. And then you'll do that to the other side, right? Kind of back to center, let that left foot come back to where it was, and then both legs kind of reach over to the left. And rather than just twisting, I want you to feel like you're sandwiching the shins together. So that right knee pulls towards that inner left ankle. Arms can stay where they are, or you might want to reach them overhead. I love this plant, but it is definitely getting too big for this spot. If I don't want to murder it, I should probably move it. And then easily come back to center, please. Uncross. Take a full body stretch here. And then we'll switch. Left ankle will cross that right knee. Just a little easy motion right to left there. And just kind of let the knees fall to the left side of your yoga mat. Maybe even pulling that right heel a little closer towards its own side or towards your right outer thigh. Exhale a time or two just out of your mouth, just reminding yourself this is about more ease in my body, a little bit more rest. Especially if you're prone to working more than stretching. And then bring that right foot back to where it was. Upright the knees and let the knees fall to the right side, letting that left outer thigh pull towards the right inner foot. Nice. And then undoing that, let the feet come to their own sides. And then anything else you'd like to do. Sometimes I like to take one more back bend, maybe one more twist. But if you're ready to be done, it's really a nice way to just lengthen out your psoas muscle. A little bit more passively, a little less work, and a little bit more ease. And isn't that sometimes what we need more of anyway? It's nice to give our nervous systems, our muscle systems, especially that major muscle system that the psoas is, a bit of a break. Stay in this resting pose as long as you need to just reset and recenter. As you're ready to move on, you'll come to a side. You'll ease yourself back into a seat. Take a bigger breath or two, resting your hands together at your heart. Thanks for practicing. Hope you feel better than you did before. Have a great day.